Alrighty, gonna give y'all a little backstory on the good old SB2, the Superblast 2. Well, I call them the Super Goat 2s. They're not gonna be a shoe for everybody, and nothing is. But the reason I call them that, I always ran in boring stability shoes. I always ran in the Glycerin GTS or Adrenaline GTS. Great shoes, but they don't excite you to get out the door. They do the job, but it's nothing you're gonna like get excited or euphoric about. So I had developed a really bad posterior tibial tendonitis. I lost a bunch of weight and thought that I could wear any shoe that I wanted. So I started wearing a lot of Nike Infinity Run 3s. But that's before I knew anything about stack height or drop or anything of that nature. So that year I ran 1,500 miles and developed such a terrible posterior tibial tendonitis, I could no longer train. I basically had to rehab. So for over 2.5 years, and then I discovered the Supwell app, and people were talking about it. And I'm a physical therapist, but we're not always the best patient. So when I discovered that that's what it was, I bought a Toe Pro. I started rehabbing it, and then that's when I discovered the ASICS Superblast 2. So in discovering this shoe, along with the therapy I was doing, I discovered I no longer had left inner ankle pain. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I ran a half marathon. And before, if I did any distance over 10, my left ankle would swell up and I'd be on the shelf for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Well, woke up the next morning, had some minor soreness, but I was able to run the next day. And the more I rehabbed, the more I wore these Superblast 2, the less and less my ankle hurt. To this point, it's my 29th day in a row, and even though I haven't ran into Superblast 2 every day, I've learned now I can get away with a different shoe here and there. But I've been pain-free for months now since I discovered the shoe. So the reason I bought so many of them was simply because I'm worried the Superblast 3, maybe it'll be softer. Maybe it'll irritate my ankle. So I bought enough Superblast 2 where if there's never a shoe as good as that made for me, I'll be good for a few years. And in worst case, I'll buy some when they go on clearance. But when you find that perfect shoe, the shoe that gave me back my gift, gave me back my ability to train and train every day, you hold that thing in high esteem. So sure, they're faster, bouncier, better, shoes for some people. But this thing will always be my goat and the thing that saved my running career. And it's helped me lose this weight and get back in shape. So that Adidas Prime 3 is wonderful. But like Ioana said on his review, there's no way I'd run that every day. There ain't no way. It's great. Maybe a time or so a week. But Superblast 2 will always have my heart. And it'll always be the one. It saved me. So that's why.